I think they teach you when you go to AA to state your name and your addiction. So hi, I'm Victoria and I am married to an engineer. I've been challenged by a friend, who may or may not be named Pamela, to do a video presentation on what it's like to live with an engineer. Now, I want to tell you that I have the best intentions to make this into a series. But saying that, I will tell you that I created a blog so that I can say I have blogged. That was intended to be a series too. Nevertheless, I thought I would give you my best possible advice right out of the gate. So, if you're married to an engineer, are a child of an engineer, parent an engineer, or work with an engineer, or maybe even just observe engineering behavior in public, I'm hoping that this public service announcement will help you. So, my best advice is, rule number 1, do not try to cage your engineer. That's right, do not cage your engineer. Under no circumstances try to limit him or put him in a box. If you do, you might be poking a dragon, because engineers do not like the feeling of being caged, no matter how reasonable the argument seems to you, or no matter how generally speaking you are trying to be. The engineer is not capable of entering into a discussion that starts with generally speaking. So, if you try to cage your engineer by any of those generalities, he will come at you with formulas and proofs, and when things get really stressful for him, even equations. And when you capitulate somewhat to his line of thinking, and you think everything is safe, he might just come at you from behind with calculators and measurements and all kinds of devices to prove his point. So, you have to let your engineer be free range. Let them be free range. Let them go. Let them wander to their heart's content out into the world of numbers and equations and proofs. But you don't have to go with him. Just let him go. He'll eventually come back to you. Engineers come back because they feel compelled to share the results of their foray into the wild. And so, when you find that happening, and they say, Victoria, guess what I found out? There's a little trick that I use. I just nod my head up and down when my engineer is sharing his discoveries. It doesn't matter if I understand him or not. I just nod my head up and down. And it works even better if you learn to make the appropriate sounds, like, oh, really? That is amazing. And you will have to sometimes even go so far as to pretend to care. I think that I have neck issues because I am so well exercised in the up and down movement of my neck. My neck doesn't even go back and forth anymore. It just goes up and down, up and down. And as a side note, maybe like A under rule number 1, I just want to let you know that engineers cannot be tamed. They can be dressed up and taken out into public, most of the time under duress, but they cannot be tamed, and they definitely do not understand the normal social graces. So, if you are at a dinner party with your engineer and he gets talking about really exciting subjects for him that include numbers and equations and things like that, you might be tempted to give him some non-verbal cues, like a look or an emotion or a kick under the table, to alert him that people's eyes have started to glaze over and roll back in their head. He will have no observation of that and no ability to take that in and get a clue. But if you do try to tame him in that way, don't be surprised if he asks you in front of all the other people, "Why are you going like that with your neck?" Or, "Why are you kicking me under the table?" So, forewarned is forearmed. And lastly, I just want to thank you for watching. And I know that I haven't given you any specifics today, but I have given you what works for me. And when you're in social situations and you are uncomfortable, you can borrow my mantra. Take a deep breath and just say, "It's no reflection on me. It's no reflection on me. It's no reflection on me." I'm Victoria, and I am married to an engineer.